very warm welcome to Daily Dispatch, a show that gives you all the latest news and updates from the digital ecosystem. I'm Priya Sheth. Thank you very much for logging in. Time now to get you all the top news stories that we've been tracking for you this evening. Well, first up, microblogging site Koo is undertaking a slew of initiatives, including making it easier for people to find leads for hospital beds, oxygen cylinders, and other resources amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The social media platform will allow potential plasma donors to spot badges on their profile pictures for increased visibility. It will also be introducing a new feature that would notify users about vaccine availability slots. Well, moving on to the second headline of the day, American banking major Citibank has committed an additional 200 crore rupees to support COVID-19 relief measures in India. The amount will be spent over the next 3 financial years, and a sum of about 75 crore rupees will be allocated towards immediate medical and humanitarian needs. Bengaluru-based digital wellness startup HealthifyMe has launched a new portal, Vaccinate Me, to aid people in finding COVID-19 vaccination slots. The portal, built using Coven APIs, is aimed at helping people find the available vaccination slots real-time in their area or district. Well, moving on to the final headline of the day, Amazon, in collaboration with USIDC, is working with Niti Aayog and the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare to plan out the distribution of ventilators in India starting May 5th. Amazon is looking to deliver about 1,000 Medtronic ventilators to India. Well, moving on to our second segment, I have with me a power-packed panel, and the topic of discussion today is the ABCs of oxygen concentrators, something that has been in huge demand over the last couple of weeks and is being spoken about widely across all channels. But what are oxygen concentrators? Let's take a look at that before we dive in to this powerful discussion. An oxygen concentrator is a medical device that concentrates oxygen from ambient air. To simplify this, atmospheric air contains around 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen. Oxygen concentrators are simple devices that do precisely what their name suggests. They take in ambient air and increase its oxygen concentration by filtering away the nitrogen. The basic difference between cylinders and concentrators are that cylinders need to be refilled while concentrators can work 24/7. Oxygen concentrators can provide around 5 to 10 liters per minute and therefore are suitable for patients down with a moderate case of COVID-19. Critical patients often require up to 40 to 50 liters of oxygen per minute, which these concentrators would not be able to provide. Now, industry estimates suggest that 40,000 imported and manufactured oxygen concentrators were annually sold before the pandemic hit. However, now the monthly demand for these concentrators has touched as much as 30,000 to 40,000 units. Owing to this huge spurt in demand, prices of oxygen concentrators have shot the roof. Oxygen concentrators, which costed around 30,000 to 40,000 depending upon the capacity, are now available at 80,000 to 90,000 rupees in some markets. To improve the access to oxygen, the central government has also announced that 1 lakh oxygen concentrators are now going to be procured through the PM CARES Fund. I have with me, some very eminent names from the whole ecosystem, and I'm going to introduce you to each of them. We have Meena Ganesh from Portia. Thank you very much for joining us today. I have Praveen Nagpal from BPL Medical Technologies. Thank you. He's also representing the medical equipment device makers. We also have Sumit Gupta from Moglix, and we have Dharmendra Jam from Paytm. Thank you very much, panel, for being here and talking about oxygen concentrators from all of you.
what is it, and why are we, as India, why are we struggling with this challenge? Because of course, oxygen at one point in time is in high demand. Of course, we're seeing a pandemic play out, but in terms of concentrators, there is still a lot of confusion. People are asking for concentrators when the demand is for cylinders. So we need to demystify this for our audiences. And I want to start with you, Meena Ganesh. Tell us what your experience has been over the last couple of weeks. Busy, hectic? What can I ask you?
Well, there is no word to describe how busy one can be. It is unrelenting, 24 hours, continuously trying to find solutions for our patients who are desperately in demand, requesting for help. Of course, one as Portia itself, and also as a part of the larger healthcare ecosystem, we are looking at various different solutions to help patients. But maybe I'll start by talking a little bit about what is the requirement for oxygen concentrator. Why is that something that all of us are working towards? As you know, with COVID being the numbers are huge, and but a large percentage of people are symptomatic or mildly symptomatic, or even asymptomatic. But what happens is that there are people who are moderately symptomatic, and one of the key symptoms is that they have their oxygen saturation starts to go down, and it is possible to stabilize a large number of those at home, and so that they don't all rush to the hospitals, because hospitals are also in out of beds. To be honest, in Bangalore and Delhi, situation is dire. There are no oxygen beds. And never mind ICU beds. So how can we help maximum number of patients stay at home, taken care of, so that they don't have to rush to hospitals? That's been the primary purpose. And one of the key requirements for that is to provide them with an oxygen concentrator. It's a box which is simple enough to use, and I'm sure Praveen can talk about the product at some stage. But I'll just say, from a patient perspective, it's a very easy to use, so long as you have power supply, or you have to connect it with a small video. People can be trained. They can use the oxygen concentrator, 5 liters per minute or the 10 liters per minute, depending on what their oxygen saturation levels are. And the pace of oxygen um, uh, can be titrated based on the patient's condition, and which is what we advise them. And that's all they need. And most people recover with that. They don't need to be taken to a hospital. So this is something which is a life-saving device, which also ensures that patients can stay at home and be cared of, and we don't put unnecessary extra burden on the healthcare system, the facilities. So, and people are not rushing there. The other use case that we are creating is to create isolation centers, where there are a lot of patients who may not have the space at home to be isolated. So we are creating, along with hospitals, some isolation centers. So rooms with attached bathrooms with medical oversight, oxygen available in case they require oxygen. Oxygen concentrators are available, and that is another use case for the oxygen concentrators, so that we can stabilize patients.
I'm going to come to you, in terms of what kind of demand you've seen on Portia as well for these concentrators. But, I want to come to you, Mr. Nagpal. I want to ask you, you being a manufacturer for these, and also representing an industry that's making these concentrators in India, what has the demand been like over the last couple of weeks? Because I was reading some statistics saying that, earlier India required about 30,000 to 40,000 concentrators a year, but that demand has, zoomed up to that quantity for every month. So what has been the status out there?
So I think it's all demand and supply, Priya. Right now, the oxygen in hospitals are not available so easily. Beds are not there, and service providers like Portia and Ma'am Meena Ganesh told that, they are all trying to do everything possible to see that patients are getting some kind of a support. As the key here is the saturation level goes down, and we need to bring that saturation level up. And oxygen concentrator, takes the air and converts the maximum out of that into oxygen and gives to the patient. We have seen that 5 liter per minute oxygen concentrators with 90% plus purity, or even higher oxygen concentrators in terms of flow, are helping the patients, as low as 85 to 80 percentage of saturation can be brought back to 95% plus, which is towards the healthy side of it. We were seeing, earlier the demand of about 30-40,000 units a year, all companies put together. Now we are seeing about 5 to 6 lakhs units in next 1 to 2 months time. So this is the kind of demand what we are seeing it. We are also heard that, from PM CARES fund, there has been about a lakh of units ordering process have started. We have seen, some other companies, which are PSU companies, are trying to order similar quantities, and then a whole lot of other individual patients or hospitals are coming forward and trying to have these oxygen concentrators available for them so that they can support themselves. I have seen some of the facilities have been converted into the quarantine center or support center by big caregivers in India. They just take a hotel or a facility and try to provide beds there, and see that a patient is at least given support till that either he gets better, or if it's not getting better, then probably from there he can go to a hospital for tertiary care. So that's how it's being planned. I think it's a good device which is coming as very useful, rather than having some cylinders not available. This can be put across.
Right. I want to talk to you, Mr. Dharmendra Jam. Paytm has been doing its bid to support the whole oxygen concentrator requirement in India, and there have been reports that Paytm is looking at flying in about 21,000 concentrators from overseas. So, have these concentrators reached India? What is the overall strategy that Paytm is working with to help support this ecosystem?
First of all, I'd like to highlight that what Madam Meena Ganesh mentioned, that we have to ensure that least number of people reach to the hospital, and for doing that we need oxygen concentrator. We realize that the oxygen concentrator may be life saving, because if they don't get a bed, they get succumb to the problem of lack of oxygen. So we realize that, and now what we are doing is that then we realize that whether it's a problem of funds, that people don't have funds and that's why they are not able to purchase the oxygen concentrator, we saw that the problem is of availability. So what we did was that we understood that this is a sourcing or an availability problem in this country. So we identified the best manufacturers of oxygen concentrator across the globe and reached out to them in no time frame. Then we placed orders of 21,000 oxygen concentrators across globe. And now, because orders have been placed, now there is a race against time, that how far or how fast we can bring all these oxygen concentrators to India. Now, the first delivery, so if we see the timeline perspective, the first delivery, 21,000, all will not come at one go. It will come in batches. But we are expecting that first delivery of oxygen concentrator of one batch will land in India by 15th of May. And after 5 days each, it will be like all 21,000 will be delivered. And
Right.
then so that is the overall timeline that we are looking at Paytm.
Right, Mr. Gupta, you are heading supply at Moglix, and of course there is a model that you're working with, which is a group sharing model for oxygen concentrators. So tell us a little bit about how this model is going to work, and do you think that this is perhaps one reason to tap this kind of and to aid in encouraging more people to use oxygen concentrators?
Right, Priya. As Mr. Nagpal just mentioned, that the demand for the country has grown from 30,000 to probably 3 lakhs in a month, right? So we genuinely believe that we can't fulfill this demand even working with all the manufacturers across the globe. We have been reaching to a lot of manufacturers over the last couple of weeks now. Even if we sold concentrators, as Mr. Jham was also mentioned, that it takes some time. And China being closed from 1st to 5th of May is not helping the cause either, right? So we have to come up with unique solutions. As we are deployed in Moglix, we have a group sharing model, wherein the concentrator is, we have created a pool of oxygen concentrators so that if the organizations who are coming relax, that they have the whatever they are, and it can be used for more people rather than being ownership for a single person. So what we do, oxygen concentrators should be used as a public good rather than a private inventory, like at a single patient home. And lot of organizations are coming forward to us, wherein they have say 100 odd employees. They won't need 10 pieces at one go. This ease of structure they're facing as a supply constraint all across the country, because we have to understand demand will remain as long as there are number of cases. There will be any requirement of such machines, right? Then we'll be looking at a lot of electronic waste lying in our houses over there, which is of probably of very less use to most of the people.
And good healthcare services have been picking up steam over the last couple of weeks, especially with the kind of issues and shortage we're facing as far as hospital beds are concerned. So, from your perspective, I want to ask you how demand has been. One, on Portea, what is the kind of demand that you've been seeing over the last few weeks, and in terms of pricing, because that's a big point of concern for a lot of people, and there are some instances of black marketing that's happening. There are instances of prices shooting up because of the kind of demand supply scenario. So what's your perspective on this?
No doubt the demand has just shot through the roof, and continuously there are calls that are coming in, and for us it would have gone up 100x, I think, the number of requests that are coming, and most of them we have to say no to because there is limited supply. What we are also doing is that, of course, we have made arrangements for more inventory to come. We're buying it, it's coming, and so on. But we are also allied with a couple of other organizations. One is called FMC Feed My City, which did the feeding last year, run by KVN Foundation. They have bought. They've ordered about 1,000 odd OCs already, and some more are still on order. And what we are doing is that using those OCs, we're providing free service to patients. So those for those that cannot afford, and even for those that can afford, the importance is to how quickly you can get it to them. So we are working hand in hand with two foundations, ACT Grants and FMC, to reduce this whole demand supply issue and not let pricing and not let monetary issues come in the middle. So that is something which is ongoing. The system that we have in place using SAP, which we have implemented, and our team of healthcare workers, we make sure that every patient is triaged. We know who has a positive, COVID positive, and has oxygen saturation issues. Those are the ones that we prioritize. And then after the period of therapy is over, we call them back, we get the machine back, we sanitize it and circulate it again. So this is what we've been doing for the last 7 years. So we're just doing more of the same, doing it at larger numbers. And a lot of, interestingly, corporates have come and given they have ordered for their families and their employees. They have 500 here and 1,000 there, and they're saying, manage the whole thing for us. So in addition to Portea patients, in addition to free patients, we are also helping corporates manage their inventory of oxygen concentrator, reaching it to the right patients, bringing it back, sanitizing, recirculating, just keeping it going on continuously in this process.
Mr. Nagpal, from the manufacturer's perspective, are there any challenges that you see when it comes to the whole manufacturing process? And also the government has given some leeways in terms of overall taxation, etc., on oxygen concentrators. So what's your perspective on this?
Yeah, I think there are some pluses and there are some minuses. I start with, what the positives are. As a manufacturer, and if we are getting some of the manufacturing done on own design manufacturing from some other low-cost country, then the custom duty has been waived off on this product from the government side. So this is very positive from the government side. But at the same time, what we are seeing in the global market, the raw material cost is increasing from 10 to 30% as of now. That's on the raw material side. And the transportation has gone up by 4 times than what it used to be, and it's actually hitting us very hard now in terms of increasing the capacity of the manufacturing. It's also required that the previous requirements was a share of total 30,000-40,000 units a year, so you could have your manufacturing capacities at a level. Now for us to scale up to the level which is required for the country right now, we need to see that one, raw material, which probably comes from some of the countries like even USA, is available and can come very fast. So that remains one challenge. And the second challenge is that, when it comes, how to scale up and manufacture it more, rather than 500-700 units a month, to how can we reach out to 10 to 20,000 units a month, or maybe more. So for that, there is a large scale of setup is required. We are in discussions with very large manufacturing houses, where we can see the possibility of licensing our technology, and this can scale up to multiple thousands, so that at this moment the country can get what is required. So we are doing all out, and seeing that whatever is possible within India.
How do you think prices will move, considering that there are some duties that have been waived off, but of course raw material, as you said, is increasing in terms of pricing. So for the end consumer, how is the price going to be moving like?
To me, it looks like should be something like 10 to 30% increase is expected as of now from the earlier prices. But we are very closely watching again the raw material. Every day is a new day, and we find something different on that. So it's very difficult for the manufacturers to understand where the cost will end up. But with reduction in duties, end customer may have to pay 10 to 30% more.
Right, so we can expect a price increase just around the corner. But when you talk about organizations like Paytm that are supporting this cause, there are lots of innovators within an IIT and IIM who are coming out with innovative solutions as far as oxygen shortage is concerned. Some sort of devices to help manage this kind of shortage. Do you think Paytm will be supporting such small micro entrepreneurs as well, or are you going to be looking at focusing on shipping these concentrators from overseas?
So apart from the oxygen concentrator initiative, we are supporting the setup of 12 plants of 100-bedded government hospitals. We have identified the cities, and we are in touch with the government departments to set up those plants. And we have identified local manufacturers who have solutions to set up these oxygen plants. These will be like 15 cubic meter capacity, and it will be really helpful, because some of the government hospital, they rely on oxygen cylinders, and there is a lack of oxygen cylinder, and there is a effort which goes in filling up cylinder again and again. So these are the plants which are innovative and manufactured in India, and will be set up within 3 to 4 weeks at the government hospital, and even earlier we are trying for that. And this is the way we are supporting Indian innovation. Also, we are evaluating some of the initiatives or the projects which are done. Like I think in Hyderabad we have received one request, and one in IIT, that these are the products which have been designed to meet the requirements, immediate requirements. But we have to understand that how it can be scaled up at the need, because time is the essence as of now. So how
Right.
we can actually productize those innovation and scale it up, the manufacturing, and then deploy it at the needy. So that's a next step that we are evaluating, that how to upskill the
Right.
production of these. So because innovation takes time to lead to the product and the certification, because these all are medically certified products. Without that, these are not allowed to be used. So we have to take care of all those aspects before getting these products for the implementation or for the usage aspects.
Right, I'm going to very quickly come to closing comments, and I want to begin with both Sumit Gupta and Meena Ganesh and ask you one very pertinent question at this point in time, which is basically, where do you see, what is the future of oxygen concentrators over the next 2 to 3 months? Now we're in the middle, at the peak of the second wave of the pandemic at this point in time. Where do you see the scenario going from here? What is your perspective? I want to begin with you, Sumit Gupta. At Moclix, you've done this group sharing of oxygen concentrators over the next 2 to 3 months. And I'm only going to ask you a short-term question, because none of us know what the medium-term or the long-term looks like. So I'm going to begin with you. What do you think?
We do really believe that the demand should go down with situation improving out over there. Our estimates is next 1.5 months is going to be tough for all of us in terms of the requirements and in terms of the demand over there, because oxygen supplies are still stabilizing and the cases are still out over there. but after a while it should stabilize. So yeah, we are looking at that scenario right now.
Yeah, so we are working with the Chief Economic Advisor Subbu to do some modeling to see where this might go. And I think um, we are far from peak is the sense that we are getting. And the number of cases are likely to be substantially active cases of 40 lakhs is what we are predicting, in which case at least 3 to 4 lakh oxygen concentrators will need to be in the market to support all of that over the next 2 to 3 months. So there is still a huge amount of requirement, and we have to use every model, ranging from individuals to communities to isolation centers to PHCs to sharing between corporates and within corporates. All the models will be required for us to support this. And all of this while also the PSA bit that Dharminder was talking about, absolutely important, helping the PHCs and small hospitals to set up their own oxygen plant, so that can also be addressed simultaneously.
Right. I want to come to you both, Praveen Nagpal and Dharminder Jam, for some closing comments. Mr. Nagpal, you mentioned that there is going to be a lot of investment that's going to be happening in these plants over the next couple of weeks and months. Do you think this investment is perhaps something that you see a future with? Because considering that this is just an immediate requirement, do you think that the industry should not overinvest in a technology like this at this point, or do you think they should go all in with investment at this point?
So we have been into oxygen concentrator business from last 10 years. So we are not very new to that. And we are seeing a sudden spike, and we talked about these numbers very recently. But we see that, these requirements after settling down would be there for years together. We have seen 30 years back how the water has come into the bottle, and we all are drinking water from the bottle. I think oxygen, with all the issues around, whether it's issues of burning, and then we require some kind of oxygen, etc. I think this will become a kind of commodity where those who can invest in that may try to keep one at home. Okay, so this is going to be that important, and though it will not be the kind of demand what we are seeing now, because this is very unprecedented, and we see it will settle, but there would be a continuous demand. So any investment in this sector would be thoroughly required, I would say that, and it would not go waste.
So first of all, oxygen concentrator, in terms of demand, I would say that, we opened up our portal for raising request for oxygen, and within 1 or 2 days, we received approximately 1,500 oxygen concentrator from the private institutions. So they are asking, they need it for their either RWAs are ordering for that, and or the private hospitals, and moreover individuals, they would like to, because if people can spend 50,000 on a AC air conditioner, why wouldn't they spend something like 50,000 for a life-saving device? So it is bound to become a kind of necessity, and any investment in this area would be really required, because we all are afraid. We all are aware that tomorrow it can come to our home also. In Delhi, it's really bad. I'm telling you from my personal experiences. So people are buying it for their personal use. They are keeping it for their family, nearby. Anybody needs it. So because and even our employees are calling that, can we have one for our family? Because in every family there is an elder member, and hospital bed capacity, they're saying that it's closing out. So we foresee there is huge demand in this sector. 21,000 we have ordered, but we plan to order another lot very soon. So that is a kind of scale that we are looking at.
All right, panelists, thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you so much for this very insightful and engaging discussion. Thank you for your time.
Well, time now to wrap up this edition of the Daily Dispatch. I'll catch you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Goodbye and stay safe.